and welcome to my YouTube channel, Julia McNeil Crafts. So today I am trying to do another page in my journal. It's yet another sort of April kit make. So this was one of the pages that is still left to do. As we have a girl this side, I thought it was an opportunity to use this stamp. So this is one of my uninked stamps that I bought and loved and then never used. So I have mentioned in the original video the thought process behind sort of putting my kit together and what I was trying to achieve. So like many of you, I have started with a number of goals, and it's like use what I have, lots of different things like that, and you know, I've got April and I've not got very far with it. So my idea was to try and make up a kit. I was inspired by Laura Alberts and by Dawn Ditchburn to do this. So this is me going to give it a go. So I think I'm going to get my VersaFine Clear. It looks like I have coloured this side in using my gouache paints. So I think that is what I am going to do again. So I'm just going to get my VersaFine Clear and stamp her out, and then I will pause, go and get, because I've not even got water on my desk. That's because I've cleaned all my brushes, but I've not brought, which is unusual, but I've not brought my tub for the water back in. So I'm just getting plenty of ink onto this. So then this is me managed to get another element of what I wanted to achieve this month done. So I just push all of that down. Probably should have used a stamping block, but do you know what? Because I'm in my journal, the surface that I'm working on, especially now that I'm at the end, I think once I've done this page, I've literally got one more page to do, and then it'll be the cover. So I yeah, so I've not stamped it brilliantly there, but as I said, it's because like we're on really uneven surfaces. So under here I've got like loads of texture and all sorts of stuff going on, so I'm just not gonna, it's impossible to get an even stamp when you're working on such an uneven surface. But do you know what, we just kind of need to accept that's the style of it now, that's how it's gone, and that's absolutely okay. We'll just work from here and see where we get on. So yeah, I'm just going to pause the camera and get myself some water and some paint. Okay, so I have pulled out my Arteza gouache palette. That's like a palette I've made myself out of the Arteza gouache paints. I have got a video somewhere about how I put a palette together, because obviously there's like 60 odd paints and it wasn't 60 spaces. But one of the things that because I enjoy character crafts, like I quite often have characters in when I craft, I made sure that I had a load of skin tones in there. So I've got toffee, apricot and pale yellow in there to help to make up my skin tone. So I'm actually going to go in with the pale yellow to start off with, and we'll gradually just build that up. I'm actually mixed it on my palette there, so we've got all sorts of colours on there, but that's fine, because actually your skin tone isn't one colour, it's lots of colours. Plus we've got this sort of blotchy effect anyway, as before we've even started, so it's all good. You just sort of have to embrace that. I think when I first did this, I was inspired by, I'm just going to mix that with a bit of the toffee now as well, just to get a slightly deeper tone. I think, is it Tony Burt? Tony Burt? She does some amazing artwork, and she always has her girls over text. And so that's what I did, a stamped text down there, and then I did that in a live for our Emma at Clever Prints. So that's kind of where the inspiration for that came. So I'm just going to pop that on now. The thing is with watercolour, it's, although we've got gouache, which is, it works like a watercolour, it's got the properties of a watercolour, but it's a bit more opaque, so it makes it quite nice for doing stuff like this, is that that's all wet now, and you can only take it so far just before it gets too wet, and it's all going to blend into each other. So like, Fitbit's just fallen off. Really, I'm going to have to get a new strap for this. Anywho. So I'm going to move on to the hair now. I'm thinking that I'm going to go blue for the hair, so I'm going to start off with the stone blue, just because I'm thinking that if I go for nice bright coloured flowers, that they're really going to pop against the blue. And obviously we've gone for unusual coloured hair that side, so and it's also not exactly the same, so it'll be a bit of a contrast. So right now I'm not thinking about my shadow areas or anything like that, I'm just getting an overall coat of blue onto that, and then I will gradually add depth to that as we go. But I'm also not looking for realism either, it's more just to the fact it's a nod that it's there. So that's not the best quality painting in the world, and that's fine because it's not the look of the page. It's not going into the Tate Modern. And that's the thing to remember with your artwork and your journaling and stuff like that. It's not going on display, so it's fine. It's just about you. It's about you taking a bit of time out, enjoying what being creative does for you, having fun. That's all that it matters. I probably should have put a page behind this, but there you go. We are where we are. So one thing I am going to do is just make it a bit darker here where the stamping hasn't quite worked. I can always add some sort of sketchy lines in myself if I feel that, you know, just lifting it with a bit of colour hasn't made much difference. Right, I think I am going to go with, I'm just going to go with what's on my palette here and then build it from there. So maybe add a bit of this peach red. It's like almost like a neon pink, but it is one of my favourites. I love it. So I'm going to get some of these pinks, I think, onto these roses. Help it to pop. So I'm happy so far. I'm not quite sure what order these are going to go up. So far in real life, whether that's video posting life, I don't know. But so far I have managed to use a little bit of the scraps. I've got a lot more of the paper still to use, so I really need to be getting on with that. But so far I've used some of the papers, and I have completed this. Well, I've completed a journal page, and obviously I'm working on this, which now only leaves me one page left in this journal and the cover, and we're still at the beginning of April as I record this, so that's looking hopeful that we might complete what we hoped we might do, so that's looking good. Yeah, and now I've used one of the stamps, so I pulled aside 2 stamps that have not seen ink, and now that's been used one of those, so that's all good. All fabulosis. There we go. So I'm also just going to, I'm going to add a bit more I've got a bit of orange just there because it's a very, very bright pink, but I'm just going to, and I'm going to knock some of it off on my towel. Let's just see if we can get a little bit of pink into her cheeks. It's very loose. I'll blend that in a bit better later, but just. And the other thing is to remember that our skin reflects a lot of colours, so even though I'm sort of not in the cheek area right now, I've still sort of brought that colour further down. Just going to be brave and drop that in. We can knock that back. So never be afraid, I mean that's like really, really pink, but we can just get a bit of water and lift it that way, or we can just grab our rag and dab it a little bit, and that knocks it back too. So never be afraid of your watercolours. Right, I think we need a green colour, and then I think after I've added the base coat of the green in, I think what we may have to do is to pop you on fast forward, because it does take a little bit of time to build up the colour properly. I can maybe go back into the hair and explain the shadows a little bit, but basically kind of what I'm doing is hitting an area with the base coat colour, and then I'm going to gradually add more colour to that, build up the shadow areas, build up the depth, but I just sort of need to wait for one area to dry before I come in with the next layer, if that makes sense. I might actually just add touches of that green into the hair as well. Look very organic. Okay, so the hair's sort of drying quite a bit now, so I need depth in some of the particular areas. You find their shadow areas are behind where something else is. So even if you look at my page now, here, just there, you can see how much darker that looks. And so when you're thinking of colouring, that makes a huge difference. I'm going to take some of this stone blue, because that's sort of what we started with. And I'm going to add a tiny bit of ultramarine just to give it brightness. And then I'm going to add some of the noir. I'm always careful. I never like to use black on its own because it feels quite dull. You get a very unnatural grey by just using black on its own. But if you mix it with other colours, you do get a nice depth. I'm just getting that there. And then basically what I'm going to do, so behind her chin there, we are going to have shadow area. Right, let me get this colour so that I'm happy. So now I've added a bit of the Prussian blue to lift it a little bit. Right, okay. So behind here we've got shadow. So now we're going to get some dark colours in here. Now again, I don't need to worry too much about blending because we can do that with water. So behind these roses we're going to have depth there. Same here. So behind the roses and things, that's kind of obvious. This bit of hair is in front of that bit, so that bit there would be a bit darker. Same in here, we've got roses in here. So this is gradually where you would start adding your depth. And I'm just picking out bits that I know would be behind. You don't need to worry if you don't catch all of them. Even just sort of getting a few in there, managing to pick out a few, it will just honestly lift your work so much. It's amazing the difference paying attention to shadows, shadow areas makes to the overall. That right now is not good painting. I've not blended it. I've literally just slapped a bit of dark colour into the shadow areas. Even though it's not blended out yet or brought together yet, it already looks so much better, and that is the power of your shadowing. So now I've wiped my brush so it's clean, and I've dabbed it in my towel so that it's damp, not wet. And all I need to do is sort of take the edges of where I've gone with that paint and just feather those. And then that's where I'm going to get my blended look. So I'm keeping the dark, but it's naturally going to have that sort of dark to light look because and don't forget, watercolour will move. Even if it's dried, you add a bit of water to it, it's going to move again. So you're going to get enough movement. So don't panic thinking, oh, it's taking me too long. If you go in there, you can really easily activate it and just pull it out, and we're going to get a little bit of a blended area. So I'm going to continue with, as I said, what I've said. I'm going to keep focusing in the dark shadow areas. I'm going to keep focusing on my blending. I'm now going to wait for this hair area to dry, so before I do it again, because I might put some brights and highlights in, but I need to wait for it to dry because at the minute it's all going to turn to mud. But I'm just going to keep going with that process, but I will pop you on fast forward as I go on. Where we are just now. It's not quite dry yet. I think once it's dry I will maybe do a little bit of white pen work just to lift it a little bit. I've had a rummage through my bit box and I still have some of these elements of Emma's, so these are the Clever Prints Emma's flowers that we used on that side, so I might just do those here as well, just so that we kind of have a similar looking page over this side as well. So we'll see how we go. I was thinking the hearts, but then I'm not sure if that's two. Maybe just one. So then we've got the 3, 1, 2, 3 across the spread. That maybe works. So yeah, these are a few of the different flowers that I have left. I'm thinking if we arrange those something like that, that kind of mirrors what we've got here, and then we'll just draw a doodly border, and I think that could be a doodly border, maybe a sentiment, because we don't, yeah, Yeah, now I'm just waffling. Now I'm just going, yeah, 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 which is not overly interesting to listen to, is it? So let's just get on with it. Okay. There we go. So let's get this down there, like so. Okay. And then I am going to just layer these flowers together, like so. Oh, it's exciting! Exciting! One more page left of this book, and then the cover. And then I have, as I said, I have been journaling since before my daughter was born. She's now 9. So I think I probably started journaling around about, I'm trying to think. I know I've got some of the pages dated, so I should probably check the dates of some of them. But I think probably since 2010 at least. So what are we, 21? So 11 years I've been journaling at least, and I have never yet finished a journal. So the fact that we have one more page to do and then the cover is quite exciting stuff. So I've got some of these, but I'm not sure. The colours maybe go with the fact that those flowers are that, I don't know. No, I'm going to take them off. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Right, so we'll pop this in here, like so. I think I'm just going to go for the 1, because although I like things in 3s, we've got 2 there, and then that sort of works for there. Right, so I'm going to grab my pen and let's create similar doodles. That's what we have. So there we've got our dangle. I'm not sure if this is where the dangle obsession started. I did that page quite a while ago, but it does seem that I have an obsession with creating dangles. Okay, so it's good. I think I'm going to find the sentiment first and then give it a dry and have a look for the white pen, because the later I do that white pen, the better, the more likelihood of it sort of staying, but still that paper's still quite damp, so it might actually be best leaving it a good while and coming back to it maybe later this evening. This video won't be going up today anyway, so it doesn't matter if I film the end of it slightly later, but then that way the white work will show up a bit more. So let's have a strange edit there. It's because I was spending ages looking for a sentiment. I still don't know exactly what I'm doing, but yeah, it would have made really boring viewings. I just stopped the camera. So because I didn't plan an edit, the edit might be a little bit dodgy, so if it is, I'm sorry. Right, so I think I am going to go with All You Need Is Love. Or do I want to, yeah, we'll go for All You Need Is Love. So we'll do that, but then this is very, very white, and obviously we've got I'm going to cut it a bit longer and create it into a banner, I think. So we can kind of want it sort of tucked behind her, but but she's not 3D. So we'll just have to go with that. Right, let me get got tattered rose here. I just need something to take the edge of that colour off a little bit, because it's the wrong colour just now. And I can't be bothered getting my blending mat or my brush out, so I'm just going to do it like that. That's the sum total of the thought behind that. Right, let's get that stuck on. We'll just doodle, because I can't see in amongst. I've got mayhem all around me. I need to tidy, which I will just do once I finish this video. So we'll just doodle it this time instead. So that's quite nice. But actually, not having the black pen is going to bother me. So yeah, I am going to take the effort to find it. I've stuck that down and I've just pulled my paints here, and I'm just going to take some of the colours that I've used and I'm just going to add some splatters. I'm trying to avoid her face area. I'm just going to pull in some more of this top because I want the natural colour. I just don't want to pull out another product when I don't need to, because this is sat right here. So yeah, that's better with the top. So it's just needing, the background was just needing a bit more interest. So add a bit of splatter like that. Then, as I said, what I'm going to do is let that dry, and then I'm going to come back and just add a little bit of white doodling. Although I've not done it on this side, I really fancy doing it on this side. I think it'll help her hair and stuff to pop. So I'll be back when it's all dry to do that. Okay, oh, creaky chair. This is all dry now. It's definitely all dry because it was a couple of days ago now. Just had great excitement. The postman's just been to the door, and that's my daughter's Lego kits arrived. So it's the school holidays, April holidays, and we've had a week of snow. But so we treated her to, well, she had a bit of money from her grandparents, so that was enough to buy one of the more expensive Lego kits, and then, but there was two she was choosing between, so we bought her the other one because we kind of thought, you know, if it had been normal circumstances, we'd have been doing lots of things with her, you know, we'd have been going to adventure play parks and swimming and trampolining, and we'd have spent a small fortune just doing different things. So I was like, why not treat her to some? So she's got some, that's her, so that'll be her all sorted. She's on their phone with a friend just now, but what we're trying to do is like let her have her iPad till about 10 in the morning, and then after that she has to turn it off and we have to do something, because it's like you don't really want to be spending your entire holiday stuck to a screen. So great excitement, she was very excited there as the doorbell rang. A little bit of white work, and that's us all done. So I have actually finished this journal now. I did a quick page in the background at some point, and I'm currently working on the front cover, which I am in the process of videoing. But before I finish that, I just thought I'll come on and finish the white work on this. So yeah, that's that one all done. So yeah, look out for this video coming soon. I hope you've enjoyed spending a little bit of crafty time with me. I've enjoyed having your company, so thank you very much. If you have enjoyed it here, please do consider liking and subscribing and tapping the bell to get the notifications. And I will be back with you very, very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.